So we have an online commendation/citizen complaint.
Okay.
So you can do it online. That same form is available here at the records counter, so somebody can
Well,
come and
online
ask.
would be more
Come and
convenient.
ask. For a lot of people it is.
Yeah.
But they can also come here and ask for the form, fill it out. Like I just got one in today from the weekend. So somebody can hand write one, turn it in. You can call in a complaint to a supervisor directly. So there's a lot of different ways that they can come in. I oversee internal investigations.
That's the way.
So everything comes through me.
I'm aware of doing it. I didn't know that you could come in and get a complaint. And anyway, so that's all changed. So I saw your police department. What's it called? Your site, your website.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a video on there of your police acting out, dancing and that kind of thing, which
Lip-sync challenge.
really, it kind of bothered me, and I was wondering where the funds were taken from in order to pay for that. So were your officers on duty or off duty?
I didn't have anything to do with that. It wasn't. I didn't arrange
I'd
any of
like
that.
to find out.
I'm not sure if they were.
I'd like
on
to
duty
find
or
out
not.
if they were on duty or off duty. And then I know it's against the law to drive vehicles on the public square up there. And in that video, you had a motorcyclist, motor officer. He's got his motorcycle parked there, and I think that's inappropriate. I think that sends a message to people that Prescott Police can do things that we could potentially get arrested for. Mm-hmm. I think that's a bad thing.
Okay.
But I'd like to know if the officers were off duty or on duty. How could I find that out?
I can find out for you.
I'd appreciate
I
it.
would imagine that they were on duty because it was something that the police department sponsored. It was something that was approved all the way up through the chain of command to the chief of police.
Yeah,
so
see,
my
and
guess
that
is
doesn't make any
everyone there
difference to me.
Was on duty at the time.
Because if that happened, even the chief, in my opinion, is wrong. Because every penny of their salaries was paid from tax money. And I think that our tax money should not be spent in frivolous ways like that. If they want to do it on their own time, that's great. But to spend taxpayers' money that is forcefully taken from us, is taken from me, whoever collects the taxes, I know if I don't pay my taxes, somebody's going to come knocking on my door and confiscate property in order to. So it's taken under threat of force, and that's common knowledge. I think that cities, whatever entities, need to be more mindful of how they spend our money. And to me, it was offensive. It upset me. It didn't restore any or give me any faith in the officers, and I think it puts me in a bad light. That's just me personally.
Sure,
but anyway, I'd like to know.
Absolutely entitled to your
So
opinion.
what would I have to do in order to find out if they're on duty or off duty?
Well, I can tell you that this was approved all the way up through the chain of command to the chief of police. So
Yeah, that doesn't matter to me.
I most
I just
likely,
wanna-
I would say that they were on duty at the time. I
On
don't
duty.
think any of them were off duty at the time.
Okay.
Which obviously, I understand what you're saying and respect your
It
opinion,
really,
and you
really
have
bothers me.
absolutely the right to your opinion.
Yep.
The chief also has the ability to run this department, the way that she would like to see it done. And so
That's where we run into a problem.
She can direct
Because
things.
that's where we run into a problem, because she has to make the correct decisions that's
Sure.
good for everybody, and I don't think that making videos to post on a website, your website,
Sure, well, and that's
is cost effective, and I
that
think the
is-
funds could have gone somewhere else, even if you take those funds and give it to a homeless shelter. But to have the cops out there acting out and driving their vehicles on property that you can't even skateboard on, it just sticks in my craw a little bit.
Sure.
And so I'm going to make a complaint about that. And so how would I do that? Maybe you can run me through that.
You want to make a complaint about
The
the
video
lip-sync
being
challenge
used.
video?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, that was approved all the way to the chief.
I don't care.
So if you want to make a complaint about the chief, you would have to make that to her boss, which would
Who's
be
her
the
boss?
city manager.
City manager. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll do that. And that's online.
I don't know if that is necessarily, it's will, right?
Yes.
So if you go on that
You want to
City
see
of
my
Prescott.
ID? I'll show you my
No, I
ID.
don't need to see your ID.
Okay.
Unless you're here to report a crime or something.
Oh, no.
You need it to write a report.
No.
So you can go on the City of Prescott website. There's FAQs, you know, frequently asked questions.
Okay, I didn't know that's what that meant.
Yeah, there's information on there. Contact us. There's ways to reach out through the city's website to the city manager if you'd like to do it that way. And
So-
you're more than welcome to do that. And
So
that
if I
will
make a
go-
commendation, does that go, how can I ensure that would go into an officer's file?
It goes to me.
How can
Because
I
I
ensure that'll go
oversee-
in his file? I don't, you could be the biggest inept fool ever walk, I don't know.
It comes to me, and then I make sure that it gets into their file. I make sure that a copy goes to their direct supervisor, so that we have, you know, if you work Phoenix PD, or if you're familiar
How could I
with
make sure?
PPR books, so we have personal performance reviews, so we keep a book on everybody,
Right on.
and those would go into that. You'd have to take our word for it.
Just take your word for it.
Yes, sir.
But couldn't I do a FOIA request later to see if that's in his file?
A FOIA request is for federal. If you're talking about open records,
Open record.
you'd have to make an open records request, and then that would have to go through our legal department, because if you're asking for personnel information,
Yeah.
that would have to go through our legal department, and that would be across the street.
But it's public
and they would have
information.
they would handle that particular request.
And who is that? The
The legal department would.
legal
If
department.
we had a request for somebody's personnel file, we would route that through our legal department.
But I would, if I wanted to know, I would just specify that I made this commendation, and I wanted to ensure that it was in his file. And just a yes or no from them would do it.
Again, if you made a request like that on personnel, it would go through legal, and if they felt that that was something that they could release, then they would release it.
Well, I wouldn't want to see it, because I would be the one that wrote it.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that it was in there, you know?
Right.
So that's what I would do. Wow, you answered all my questions, man. That's
Okay. Anything else?
That's it, man.
All right, well.
If I do, hey, maybe I can call you. How? You're the guy that I would call, right?
I'll give you my direct extension, okay?
Okay, just say it on here and
It's
I'll write it down.
777-1942.
1942.
And it's on the website too. There's,
It's a year of my
if you go
dad.
onto our police department and you look at the different divisions, I run support bureau. So under support bureau, you'll see a picture of me and my contact information.
Okay. You know, the greatest thing about it is, now I know what FAQ means.
Frequently asked questions.
I
That's
didn't
it.
know that.
All right, well,
Thank you very much.
you
I
bet.
appreciate it very much.
Have a good one.
Thank you. So there it is. So very friendly, very informative, very open, very impressive. You'll see. I still think that they should have an actual written policy so officers can refer to it, and that way there's no question. I said, well, I didn't know, I didn't remember the meeting that I was in. But if they have it in their possession, then they're kind of out of excuses for why not to know the policy. So anyway, that's it. See you next time.